Thank you for tuning in today. Man, we got a great episode for you today. Secretary of Transportation and the new head of FMCSA in the same room, pushing and talking about the things that they say that's going to make the roads more safe in America. Let's get into today's video. A lot to talk about. We're going from Indiana's sting operations.
223 illegal aliens have been arrested and taken off of our roads. Of those, 146 of them were drivers. That includes 46 semi-truck drivers.
To pulling $160 million from funds from California.
The opportunity to pull $160 million of additional dollars from the state of California.
From shutting down bad acting schools, from shutting down bad acting trucking companies.
It's perfectly clear to the driver training schools. If you are not following the rules and you're not doing the things that you're supposed to be doing, we're going to ensure that we put you out of business.
And just getting the bad actors out of the trucking industry. This is a very powerful video. I want you to watch it. I think this is a great thing for the trucking in America. I believe that this is the right route that we're going to take to make our roads safe again. My truckers, let's get into today's video. What's going on, my truckers? Welcome to Mutha News. Email us at muthatruckernews@gmail.com. So this is the first time we're going to see Secretary of Transportation and the head of FMCSA in the same room. And the head of FMCSA wants to make his mark. He had 30 years of law enforcement, and he's here today to tell all of the CDL schools and the trucking companies that are hiring illegal drivers and the schools that are taking in drivers that really shouldn't be getting their CDL.
And to have that, they must follow our standards. And if you do not want to follow our standards, then you need to stay out of the profession. Soon, here at FMCSA, we will be announcing recent activities that we're doing to take and to ensure that entry-level driver training schools are being upheld and those standards are being upheld.
Secretary of Transportation Sean Duffy makes a major update saying that Indiana just had a big operational sting, and from that they put down and shut down a whole bunch of illegal truck drivers.
Before we start, I do want to thank Secretary Noem and ICE and the state of Indiana for the great work they've done. They had a press conference this morning identifying 223 illegals that were arrested in a sting operation in Indiana. 146 of those individuals were truck drivers. And Secretary Noem actually pointed out that a number of those truck drivers that were illegal have criminal records. Individuals that have no place on American roads. Through Indiana's great work, we discovered that they were, and those people are taken off the road now, and many of them are headed back to their countries of origin.
So here's a question of the day for all the truck drivers out there. You have to be English proficient when you're a pilot, but for some reason, when we want to put stricter rules on being English proficient for truck drivers, we want to make an exception for that. Why do you think that is?
Told all of our states that you have to enforce the English proficiency requirements that are on the books right now. And by the way, those are not new rules that were put on the books by US DOT. They've been on the books for decades. It's just that we were going to enhance the penalties that existed before Barack Obama changed them in the early 2000s. So we're going back to the original standard, taking vehicles out of service if someone couldn't speak English.
So Secretary of Transportation Sean Duffy wanted to clarify to everybody out there why there was a thing called a non-domicile CDL. So for example, if you lived in Florida, but you saw that the oil game was crazy out in Texas and you wanted to get a Texas CDL, but you were a resident in Florida, then they would give you a non-domicile CDL. So you were still an American citizen and you were just trying to get a CDL from a different state than your residency. But here's the thing, Secretary of Transportation Sean Duffy stated that this is where, the other side, he states, molded this, and then they started bringing in foreign drivers that did not lawfully have the right credentials to get a non-domicile CDL. And so he's telling all the states to check on how they gave their non-domicile CDL and make sure that if it was not lawful, then they need to get these drivers out of the way, shut them down, and of course, take away their CDL.
Just quickly, what is a non-domiciled CDL? It was a CDL that was envisioned for someone from one state, a citizen from one state, that was going to get a commercial driver's license in another state. So say I'm in Wisconsin and I want to drive truck in Texas, a lot of jobs down there, and I would get a commercial driver's license, a non-domiciled one in the state of Texas. Like many of our laws, it was contorted by oftentimes liberals and liberal governors, and they started to allow foreigners to get non-domiciled CDLs. We discovered, and we reported this about a month ago, that many of these non-domiciled CDLs, the commercial driver's licenses that were given to foreigners, they were issued unlawfully. For example, it would look like a foreigner has a work permit that expires on one date, but the commercial driver's license would not have an expiration date, whether it's months or years later. Again, not following the rules of DOT.
And Secretary of Transportation Sean Duffy is making it known that he's ready to pull $160 million worth of federal funds to California if they don't start playing the game, right? And so here's the thing, he says he could pull 4% every time and he will get them to comply. Number
one, we have a lot of money that flows from this department to our states. And you saw that we pulled $40 million from the state of California because they were refusing to comply with our English proficiency language requirements. We're getting information from state troopers in the state of California that Gavin Newsom has specifically told them, don't comply with this requirement from the Department of Transportation. Number one. But number two, in regard to the non-domiciled commercial driver's licenses, we've asked for compliance for those states to again go back and look at the licenses to verify that they were issued lawfully. California is less than cooperative, and we're in the process of going through a review, and we have the opportunity to pull $160 million of additional dollars from the state of California. That's about 4% of the money that we send California from DOT. We'll be able to pull another 4% and another 4% if they don't comply. Eventually, we can pull their ability to issue commercial driver's licenses. We will get compliance. So I actually think that Secretary of Transportation Sean Duffy is hitting the nail on the head here, because you got to start with the foundation, and the foundation is where you get your CDL. And so he asked the question, who is really testing these type of drivers, right? And it's one of those things where, the CDL school itself just wants people to sign up so that they could get their money, right? And so that's not what it's for. It's supposed to be so that you could train truck drivers to be professionals on the road. And so they're looking to push really, really hard on making sure that they shut down these CDL school mills that are giving out and training these drivers that shouldn't be on the road. I think it begs the question also, who is testing these drivers? Who is taking drivers in, seeing if they speak English, and then testing them on basic skills that would allow them to be certified to then go to the DOT to get a license? So these are commercial driver's license schools. And a lot of these students are coming through these schools. They can't speak the language, and many of them are not proficient in the English language. Many of them don't have the skills to operate these big rigs on the roads. But nonetheless, these schools are certifying that they're qualified. Not only that, they don't have documentation that they're citizens. So we are going to go after the CDL mills that are issuing licenses across the country, sending a certification in to our state DOTs saying that you have a qualified individual to drive a big rig and licensed in your state, and the truth is they are not. And of course, the big problem here is, yes, these drivers have to take accountability, but at the end of the day, they just want a job. And so the company still has to be the one that wants to hire them. So the company should be just as accountable or more. And so Secretary of Transportation Sean Duffy is stating that he's going to shut down these horrible trucking companies that are hiring these drivers. We are diving into the companies that hire these drivers that may not have a license, that may not have a lawfully issued license, or do not speak the language. Companies will be held to account.
And for the drivers that are curious about this Indiana operation sting, well, here is the actual update on that.
And 18-wheelers, and understand they're difficult to stop, maneuver. You have to have a skill set, but also communication with those around you. And certainly in your training, that's important to make sure you're operating it safely. Putting them behind the wheel of these tractor trailers weighing tens of thousands of pounds loaded with explosive fuel down the highway endangers every single citizen that is on our roads. Today, these individuals will speak about some of those incidences that we've seen, but also what we're doing to clean up this activity and those dangers every single day. Now, through our 287G partnership that we have with the state of Indiana, we have run an operation recently which has allowed to hundreds of arrests that has brought people in that are breaking our laws. Through that partnership, 223 illegal aliens have been arrested and taken off of our roads. Of those, 146 of them were drivers. That includes 46 semi-truck drivers and another 82 of them that were either box trucks, buses, moving vans, vehicles such as that. The CDLs that were issued to those individuals were issued from over a dozen different states. Many of those individuals could have been licensed in a state somewhere and received their CDL in another state, but overwhelmingly, these individuals have come from sanctuary states such as California and Illinois and New York. If you are here driving on our streets illegally and our highways, you are endangering our citizens and your days are numbered. I want to thank Secretary Sean Duffy from the Department of Transportation for all of his work, too. You've seen him focus on the effort to get these individuals off of our streets, and I want to thank him for doing that and implementing new policies and regulations that will keep our citizens safe. Too many families across this country have felt pain and been victimized and lost loved ones because of these illegal drivers.
Overall, from my years of just reporting on things that are happening with federal regulations, do you believe that the administration now is pushing harder than they've ever pushed before to make the public roads safe? Or do you think it's just, smoke and mirrors and he's just saying what he needs to say? Mud Truckers, comment down below. We always just want to share this information out there, for good or bad. Just want to give it to you drivers so that we can keep you safe on the road and just give you any information that's going to help you on your way doing what you got to do best, is moving America. Mother Truckers, we appreciate you. Thank you for following the show. Thank you for following us on all social media platforms. It means the world to us, and we thank you, and just have a great day. I interviewed a driver here. A happy Halloween to all of the drivers. Hopefully, if you can, I know it's not easy, especially if you're over the road, but if you get a chance to spend some time with your kids, man, you've earned it. You deserved it. I don't know anybody else that works as hard as a truck driver. Yes, there's other industries, but when it comes to this one, drivers are salt of the earth and they make the difference and they move America. And I'm just so thankful to be a part of this community any way possible. Hey, Mother Truckers, I'm out here at B's Donut Shop in Texas City, Texas. And of course, the truck driver rolls in. We had to roll a clip. Happy Halloween, Mother Truckers. What you got going on right now, brother?
2006 T800 C15 Cat, twin turbo, 3406, 18 speed, 12.7 front end, 48,000 rears. We haul about 84 on the regular. That's a little permitted too, but nobody's really counting.
Yeah.
We're doing a Blanchard at the marathon. We're gonna drop off 1,200 tons today. Me and the boys, AB Trucking Services in Houston, hit us up.
I love that.
On the back of the trailer. You call, we haul.
Hey.
God we trust. Everybody else pays cash.
Hey, I love that. So here's the question of the day for you.
Yes, sir.
What makes you a cat fan?
I don't know, man. They just, nobody pulls like a caterpillar. It just happens that way.
Man.
Grew up around them, was always in them. If it ain't got a cat, you ain't that.
Yellow motor strong, baby. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I know you're working hard, but
Yep.
woo! Hey, man. We're doing some shifting up in here.
Rock and roll,
Let's go, let's go. Let's go. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Y'all have a happy Halloween, man.
Hey.
Go trick or treat. It's free candy day.
Yep.
You always got to jack the kids.
Yeah.